Lost and Found Nation of Islam, a lecture delivered by the Most Honorable Silis Muhammad, Lord and Savior, Black Messiah, to the lost-found black man, woman, and child in America. This lecture was delivered on Founders Day, August the 21st, 1983. Pay special attention to the words of knowledge and wisdom delivered by the Most Honorable Silis Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I want you to tell my people and equip them with the truth that no, don't believe the propaganda that the agents and the media, the white media, and especially here at Atlanta, Georgia, is spreading on Silis Muhammad and Silis Muhammad's followers. He has even some of your mothers and your fathers believing that I'm a gangster, that I'm teaching you subversive activity. Go home and tell your fathers and your mothers and your friends and your relatives, and those of you who are visiting, go home and tell your people that this is my teaching. I choose to read this to you. As is the case in Las Vegas, Nevada. Those of you who have never been to Las Vegas, Nevada, a brief history is that Las Vegas, Nevada is a place where you gamble. As is the case in Las Vegas, Nevada, there is no system whatsoever that you can perfect to beat Las Vegas. If you left here going to Las Vegas to gamble, to try to get rich, brother, or even to the racetrack to try to make a big killing, with some system that you've sat down and figured out for years and years, I say to you, forget it. It won't work. You cannot beat the racetrack. You cannot beat Las Vegas. Because every time you come up with one system, he's going to create another one to stop it. So you cannot win. Am I making sense to you? So quit it. Tell your people, don't gamble. And as like you cannot win at Las Vegas, because they will change the system on you as soon as they figure out what you're doing, so is it true with this America system of life. That it's a system of life, a way of life, and you can't beat it. What I'm trying to say to you is that America has perfected her system of law against you. America has perfected her system of law against itself. The first colonial people that came to America, according to the history, I haven't started to teach yet or preach. My subject is resurrection of Jesus. I'm just introducing a few things to you. The first people that came over, according to the history, are those people who were unwanted in England and other places. Generally the outcasts, the crooks, the robbers, the thieves. They are the ones who came to America first. Thieves, stealing and taking from each other and from the Indians. And do you remember watching the TV, how the Dalton gang and Billy the Kid and Jesse James would go and rob banks and they would get a marshal or a sheriff with a bigger gun, and how they would rally a posse together. One person Billy the Kid by himself. One person. They would send out 20 people to catch one person. I'm talking about the TV, the movie. Do you remember seeing it? He might not have taken nothing but a strong box off the stagecoach with rocks in it. No money. They would still go after him. Why? Because they didn't want the law broken. And they kept inventing. Soon they learned a way to take a fingerprint and determine who fired the gun, or who touched the glass, or who touched the door knob by a fingerprint. They kept on inventing until soon they learned how to match up a projectile, a bullet, with a gun. They are so clever that they can take tracks off of a tire that rolls in the dirt, get a sample of the dirt, look at the measurements of the track, and determine what kind of tire it was and how heavy was the car. And then match it up with the car and link it right back to the person. Their system of law is almost perfect. It's perfect because they are the devil. They are the robbers. They are the thieves. In fact, the Bible refers to them as a den of thieves. Because they are thieves, robbers, and murderers, they have sat down and figured out and planned legal theories on how to catch and trap each other, to keep each other from stealing, to keep each other from taking. And it's in their nature to steal. It's in their nature to rob. It's in their nature to take. It was put in their nature. So they write the law to protect the evils within them. And your nature is good. You are of God's family. Your evilness do not approach theirs. You don't think what they think. So certainly every little bitty wrong that you could do, there is a law for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you can't do nothing, not one single thing in this country that this white man hasn't written a law for it. And not only has he written a law for it, but has a system on how he's going to catch you. Are you aware of that? Please take that knowledge back home to my people. The jailhouses are filled with my people. Because my people feel that they can either win on the racetracks, win at Las Vegas, or steal their way through life. And it is my teaching to you that you cannot do that. You can't steal your way through life. He has a system to stop. He has a National Guard. He has a police department. He has private citizens that are armed. Aren't you aware of that? Yes, sir. Well, go home and inform my people to not do these sorts of things thinking that they can get away with them. They cannot get away with them. That is not the divine solution to our salvation. And it is not the solution that I teach you for your salvation. Now, it was asked of me by a brother, well, if we're all God, and you're teaching that all black men are God, and those of you who are visiting with us, we will explain this to you sometime, then, Silis Muhammad, why do we need you? Since all of us are Allah. You need me for guidance. You need me for a point of rally, someone to rally around. You need me as a reminder. And you need me to give you the divine solution to your salvation. You need me to call upon the scientists to send the earthquakes, to send the hurricanes, to send the floods.
Yes, sir.
That's why you need me. And that's what I can do. And they are coming. You don't need to lift a finger to try to rob, steal, shoot, or kill, or take anything from the devil. The scientists will send over here whatever I ask them to do that is within their power to do. Not only will they send it over here and use it, if I keep growing, they're going to give it to me, and I'm going to be able to use it. Now, I don't have all of it yet, but I'm striving to achieve it. They have it, and it is to be transferred to you through me. You can pick up the newspapers now, and you can read about what's taking place in California. You can read about what's taking place in Texas. And when I leave Georgia, you can read about what's going to take place here. I don't have to go try to create a gun or 105 caliber a bomb to try to overthrow America. Even before I was born, America was predicted to be destroyed. Even before I knew my name was Silas, there were scientists sitting, plotting, planning on how to destroy America. Even before I knew that I was to stand up and teach the truth, there were scientists doing things in America, destroying America. And if I died tomorrow, they would keep on destroying America. So it's not going to stop, and it's not controlled by Silis Muhammad. Silis Muhammad is only one clerk in the wheel. But if you kill Silis Muhammad, and I'm capable of being killed, I'm flesh and blood. Don't you know that Sharif is going to stand up and keep on teaching what I'm teaching? And we don't have to use guns. We don't have to steal. We don't have to rob and kill in order to achieve it. Take that back to the boss and tell him that if he doesn't believe it, I don't want to test the scientist, but I just might call upon something to happen to prove it. I know what power I have, and I know how to use it. I know when to ask for it. I know if I'd ask for some things, it would hurt some of you, because some of you are not ready. You've been listening to the devil for so long that you might think that Silis Muhammad is crazy. So I'll end up getting you killed along with the devil if I ask for an earthquake to occur at Georgia or at Atlanta, or ask for a snowstorm at Atlanta, or ask for a heavy hurricane at Houston, Texas. Men control these things. And all I have to do is just sit back and say, let it last just a little bit longer. Let my minister, Hakeem, let him out. Let his brother out.
Yes, Lord.
He believes. I have taught him, and he said, I accept. But scientists, let the hurricane kill all the rest. I've got on a white suit, and I've got another suit whiter than this. And I doubt seriously that in this battle of Armageddon that I get any blood on any one of them. Because I don't intend to put my hand on anyone and kill them. I intend for the snowstorms to kill them. I intend for the earthquakes to kill them. I intend for the hurricanes to kill them. I intend for the tornadoes to kill them. I intend for the rain to stop and for the ground to dry up and no vegetation come from the ground and no food and they starve to death. I intend for the waters to turn red with blood and they can't drink it. I intend for flies and locusts and frogs to flood the cities. I intend for the children to walk out of the homes, the firstborn, and just drop dead in the street. Silis Muhammad don't have to lift a finger. And Silis Muhammad don't have to tell a single one of you to lift a finger. The finger that's lifted has been lifted since 1929. All Silis Muhammad has to do is say, I'm hurting. My people are hurting. I'm in pain. I don't have nothing. Bring it on. I'm ready to go. And it'll happen. And I guarantee it. My life is on it. And your life is on it. And the devil's life is on it. Because the books have written it. And it shall come to pass.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now am I Al Capone or am I a preacher? I am teaching no more than what the preacher teaches. The difference is that the preacher don't know the truth. The preacher thinks it was prophecy that happened 2,000 years ago. No, it's not prophecy that happened 2,000 years ago. It's prophecy that Silis Muhammad and his followers are fulfilling in this hour.
Yes, sir.
I'm a gangster. I'm a subversive person. I'm going to be run out of Georgia. I teach people to kill. I'm camouflaging on the religion, but I'm really teaching how to overthrow America. I'm a con artist. I'm under surveillance 24 hours a day. We're going to kill him. We're going to run him out of Georgia. Bless their hearts. They don't know that my presence in Georgia is their protection. You just let one thing happen to Silis Muhammad. And watch what happens to America. You will see black men standing up from Africa to America that he cannot control, that he cannot stop. The devil should be happy that I'm teaching you. Because I'm teaching you to speak the truth. That's what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you to do right. And he should be really happy. Because there are a lot of my people who only love the devil, whether they ever heard me teach or not. There are a lot of my people who just want to kill the white man anyway, who are just fed up with him and don't like him. They hate the conditions that they've had to live under. They hate the conditions that they're living under. And all they need is a slight excuse to do what's already in their hearts to do. It's not that I am putting it in their hearts. It's already in their hearts. The devil, you put it in the hearts yourself. When you hung them on trees, you put it in their hearts. When you cut out their privates, you put it in their hearts. When you cut the stomach of their mothers open and let the baby drop out on the ground, white man, you put it in the black man's heart to one day take revenge on you.
Yes, sir.
You did that.
Yes,
Silis Muhammad wasn't born.
Yes.
When you, white man, when you took my people in Africa and kidnapped them, put them on slave ships, and stacked them like in sardine cans, one on top of another, you put hate into them against you. When you would not allow them privacy to go to a private place and expel their bowels or do number one, but to do it on each other right there where they slept and ate and all of that stench. You, white man, you put hate into the black man against you. White man, when you brought the black man here and put him on blocks, slave blocks, and put a price on his head and sold him as a slave, you bred hate into him against you. You did it, white man. Silis Muhammad did not do it. I'm only 45 years old. You were doing this 400 years ago. When you put my people out there on your farm, in your tobacco fields, in your cotton fields, and took one big black one and made him your Uncle Tom, put a whip in his hand and made him whip the others, you put hate into their hearts against you. And white men know for a surety that they are going to rise up against you whether I live or die. You're trying to stop Silis Muhammad from talking is not going to stop that. Generation after generation after generation after generation, the black man is going to be hollering until one day you're going to have to give. So you may as well give now while Silis Muhammad is here. Because the ones coming after me may not be as cool. What you think I'm teaching. They may not even use a Bible or a Quran. They may take it and say, burn it up, and go and get guns and come after you. White man, you should listen to me. You refuse to listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He asked you, white man, give me a state. Give me a couple of states. If you don't want to give me a couple of states, let me and my people go to Africa. Take care of us for 20 years. And if we are not able in 20 years to stand up for ourselves, then you should cut us loose. He asked you to do that, white man. But you sat back. You plotted. You planned. You waited on him to die. For you knew that $1 nation. You saw some 100 or 200,000 black men and women in the street, and you refused to touch the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for you knew that the black man would rise up all across America. So you refused to do anything that he asked you, and you refused to touch him, knowing that you would have hell out on your hands. But white man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a forerunner. The one you really should have been watching is me. That was John the Baptist. If John the Baptist caused that much in your land, what do you think Silas Muhammad's going to cause? Now, I am not saying Silas Muhammad, gonna kill you. No, I am not saying that. I am saying, however, that Silas Muhammad is asking you the same thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked you. But the difference is that if you don't give it, I, Silas Muhammad, am going to ask the scientists to do what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad could not ask them to do. That's right. Because the power wasn't given him to ask them. It's given to me. And I have enough faith in me to ask him. Because I, too, am one of the slave children. I, too, am a victim of America. And when you are burning black people and having your little white children run around and eat popcorn and look at it as a resurrection, and you allow Silas Muhammad to read that in your history book, don't you know that you was putting something in Silas Muhammad's heart that you're not going to be able to deal with today? I'm getting ready to preach. The resurrection of Jesus 2,000 years ago was prophecy. There has been no resurrection of Jesus. There has been no resurrection of Jesus. There has been a crucifixion of Jesus. But there ain't been a resurrection of Jesus. Jesus is being resurrected today, white man. White man, this is what I want. Humbly, peacefully, I want all black people that are held in federal prisons and correctional institutions, I would like them to be released from your jails under the banner of Islam and the leadership of Silas Muhammad. I would like for all of my followers and those who are yet to come and who choose to come and return to Africa with me, I would like for them to be given free passage to Africa, unharmed, from port to port. I would like for us to be given ships stocked with food per our specifications. I would like airplanes sufficient enough that would warrant the size of a nation 35 million strong. I would like farm equipment enough to farm the land that I've already been offered. This is what I would like for you to do, Mr. President, Mr. Georgia Police Chief. I would like for you to do this. I ask you to do this. Now, Mr. Chief, if you don't do it, I am going to ask the scientists, and it's a promise. It's a divine promise. Even if I wanted to, I can't hold it back. I'm going to ask the scientists to flood California. I'm going to ask the scientists to let the earthquake come on and split California half in two. I'm going to ask for that. I'm going to ask that the heat wave that you see now be like child's play. That you won't have water for a year. I'm going to ask for that. I'm going to ask that your food dry up and that it turn poison. I'm going to ask that your water turn to blood. I'm going to ask that mosquitoes, frogs, flies, and locusts plague you until you have to do what I ask. That's what I'm asking. So you ought to do what I'm asking you for. No, I'm not sending any women and any men with any guns to do any killing, to do any robbing or any stealing. I'm asking for snowstorm off the North Coast to hit Atlanta, such as you've not seen before. I'm asking for polio to strike your little white babies.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking for the mothership when they see your airplane streaking through the sky. I'm asking for the mothership to do the thing that they're supposed to do to make them fall and kill off 150 of you. That's what I'm asking for. If you don't do what I ask, and if you kill me, somebody else is going to ask for it. My daughter will ask for it. Or her daughter will ask for it. And another daughter will ask for it. And black people that are not even here yet will ask for it. Because you did it, white man. And the time has come for you to pay for your wrong. You put everyone else in jail for their wrong. You take them to court and judge them. When they kill, you give them life. When they rob, you give them 90 years. When will you get your 90 years for robbing Africa of her people and of her gold? When will you get life for the more than 60 million blacks that you have killed? Is this hate? Or is this the truth?
True.
The resurrection of Jesus. In the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 1. Just before I get inside of the book, I'd like to tell you something. This particular edition is called a Schofield. Schofield Bible. Now, you see what color it is? It's brown in color. Now, I've got another Bible at home that's a Schofield that's just like this Bible, brown in color. The color is a little bit lighter than this one. But it's also Schofield. Now, this one says the new version, or new edition. The other one says the old edition. Now, in addition to those two Schofields, I have about 6 or 7 other Bibles with other different and various names on them. And in addition to the Bible, I have several Qur'an, Holy Qur'an. I'm just giving you this for your own information and for your own benefit. Now listen to me closely. And I can sit down and open up all of those books. Now these are religious books that the world is supposed to be guided by. Now this, brother, is a clear, perfect truth. The Quran, all of these Qurans and the Hadith, and all of these different and many Bibles, not a single one of them on the same issue talk about the same thing. Each one of them are different. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Let's just talk about the Schofield, since this is the one that I've got with me today. This is the Schofield Bible, version of the Bible. I've got another Schofield version of the Bible. You can take this Schofield version of the Bible and sit down and read here about the resurrection of Jesus in this one, and turn to the same chapter, talking about the same issue, and the very next book, Schofield Bible, just like this one, and read about the same issue in a total different view. Totally different. Hinting about the same thing, but different interpretations. In these books, the Bible, the Holy Quran, the Hadith, all of these books are supposed to have been written by God or the prophet of God to guide man into righteousness and into truth and to bring peace to the earth. Do you really understand what I'm saying? How can all of these books, all written differently with different types of slants and different types of colors in the language and different types of interpretation, bring all the people of the earth to one belief and bring unity and harmony between all the people? What does that say? That says simply this, that either God is playing a game. Pardon me if that offends some of you, and I'm not really poking fun of God, but that's the only rational conclusion you can come to. That God can't possibly have caused all of these books to be written to guide man into one unity, and all of them are different. And even you yourselves, out of your own homes, have sat there and listened to mother argue with father about whether the Church of Christ is right or whether the Baptist is right. And both of them are reading the same book. But God's supposed to have written it to bring peace and to bring harmony to man. And what I'm saying to you, that either God is playing a game, that God that they're talking about, or some preacher who say that God wrote the book is lying on God. Now let's take a look specifically at the Schofield. And I'm not talking about two Schofields. Am I boring you? I'll be finished in just a moment. What I'm really trying to get around to saying to you, brother, is that where you're going to find truth at is in your heart, is in yourself. Where you're going to find righteousness at is in you. That's where you're going to find it. And other people that's truthful like you. And other people that's righteous like you. That's where you're going to find it. That's what I'm trying to get around to saying to you. Is that difficult for you to understand or express? Because it certainly doesn't exist in these books. Because they've been taught from ever since my grandmother was living. And my grandmother and mother didn't believe alike. They had two different religions. She was a holy roller, the grandmother, and the mother was a Baptist. I'm serious. Both of them reading from the Bible. Now take a look. This is Schofield. All right? And I'm not reading from two books. I'm going to read from one book. But since you are intelligent, I'm not going to read. I'm going to tell you. And you can go home and read it yourself. In the book of St. Matthew, we're talking about the resurrection of Jesus. And the book of... Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me? Or shall I finish with this? In the book of St. Matthew, when they're talking about the resurrection of Jesus, he's placed in a tomb after he's crucified. I'm not going to talk about his crucifixion today. I'm going to do that on the last day that I finish this series. But he's already crucified, and he's been in his tomb now for a little bit better than 3 days. Not 4 days, 3 days is a fraction. He's been in his tomb. And now it's time for him to be resurrected. And Mary and another Mary goes out to pay visit to the tomb to Jesus and to carry him some sweet smells. When they get there, in the book of St. Matthew, they find the tomb empty of Jesus' body. They find the stone, a huge stone that was placed in front of Jesus' tomb. They find it rolled away. And they find a man sitting upon it, dressed in a long white garment, and his face like lightning. That's what Mary sees in St. Matthew. Now, in the book of St. Mark, those of you who are familiar with the Bible, and if you keep coming back, I will teach you the whole Bible. It's very simple. When you got a good teacher. I mean, that's really teaching you and not trying to give you some kind of a program. I don't have no program for you. Not about this. I do have a program. And that's to learn to speak the truth and do right. That's the program that I want you to get. And you'll be successful. But now in the book of St. Matthew, that's what it says. In the book of Mark, the very next book, the same Mary goes to the same tomb. But this time, Mary, along with the other person that's with her, and I'm not going inside of St. Matthew, St. Mark this time, they don't see the man sitting upon the stone out in front. They see a young man inside of the tomb where Jesus was, dressed in white, standing to the right. In the same book, two different writers, St. Matthew and St. Mark, are seeing the resurrection of Jesus differently. Now let's take a look at St. Luke.
Come on.
In the book of St. Luke, the same woman, Mary, along with some others, go there, and they see two men in the tomb. In the same book. He's not sitting up on the stone anymore. He's not a young man standing to the right anymore. It's not even one man anymore. It's two of the same book. Go home and read it. Now let's take a look at St. John. The same Mary. Intelligent man's mind, shouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now really what's going on here? I mean, how can one man have these 4 different stories told about him, and this book is the truth? Truth is in you. That's where truth is. Now let me show you a little truth. That's in you. And that's what I'm talking to now. I'm talking to your heart, your own mind. Now let's take a look. I'm going to get to St. Mark, St. Luke, and St. John at about the end of 7 hours. Right now I'm only going to deal with St. Matthew and this angel sitting up on top of the rock that rolled away from the tomb. That's what I want to deal with first. Now take a look. I'm going to read to you a little bit. In the end of the Sabbath, and remind me, in the course of this series of talks, I'm going to tell you what the Sabbath is. It's not really Sunday. As it began to dawn towards the first day. Now, it's not quite the first day. It's dawning towards the first day. For the end of the old world had not yet come. The end of the old world is leaving, and the new world is on its way in. So that it's dawning towards the day. You with me? Let me do it once more now. In the end of the Sabbath, as it begun to dawn towards the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary. I'm going to tell you who they are too. To see the tomb. And behold, I'm at verse 2, chapter 28. And behold, there was a great, note the word great, earthquake. For an angel of the Lord had descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. The powerful angel. His countenance, we're talking about the angel now. Does this sound like church to you? His countenance was like lightning. And his raiment, his countenance, his face, his raiment, the clothing he wore, were white as snow. And for fear of him, the people did quake or shake and became as dead men. Didn't say that they died, that they became as dead men. Now let's walk through that and that alone, and then I'm going to close out today. Here is Mary. First off, this is the end of the week, of the Sabbath, as it dawns toward the beginning of another week. And Jesus has been in this tomb for 3 days and a little fraction. And Mary Magdalene and the other Mary that we're going to talk about later on came to visit the tomb where Jesus lay. And when they got there, well, on the way, not in this book, but in another book, if they on the way, they questioned How are we going to see him? Who's going to roll away the stone? In this book, the stone is already rolled away when they get there. Well, who rolled that stone away? And how did this stone get rolled away from the tomb of Jesus? Now, the stone evidently was pretty heavy, because now Mary was with Mary Magdalene was with another woman named Mary, and they were questioning as they approached, how will the stone be rolled away? Well, now you know women, brother, when there is something heavy at home that they can't move, they'll either wait for you to get there to move it for them, or they'll take the knees and move it. Well, Mary and Mary Magdalene and the other Mary weren't thinking about moving this stone with their knees, and they weren't thinking about other men moving it for them. They were questioning, how will it be moved? But when they got there, it was moved. But look at the manner in which it was moved. A great earthquake came. Not just an earthquake, but a great earthquake came. Now let's look at a little common sense. Now Mary Magdalene and the other Mary are not angels. They are not saviors. They are not saints. They are not gods. They are not prophets. They are just followers of Jesus. And here is an earthquake. And they keep walking. They don't run. They don't get scared. In the face of a great earthquake. In the end of the Sabbath, as it begun to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For an angel of the Lord descended from heaven. Now, this Mary Magdalene and the other Mary are not afraid of this earthquake. There's got to be some exceptional women. Or someone is a master liar. Now you can take whatever way you want, but the truth is in you. Now, here is this great angel that descended from heaven. He sat upon the earthquake. I mean, here's a great earthquake, and this angel is not afraid. He is sitting upon it. Now, we can kind of understand that coming from a Christian background. For the Christian background will say, well, angels got that kind of power, and they ain't fearful of nothing. So he could sit up on the rock. In fact, he could cause the earthquake to quake, and don't nothing shake but the rock. And Mary Magdalene and the other Mary won't even feel it. That's the way that they'd have to explain it. And that don't make sense today. Not to the man that's been reading and has started thinking. Now what about these keepers that were there? There were some keepers there at the tomb of Jesus at the time that this earthquake was taking place. But they didn't run. The only thing that brought them to rest was their fear of the angels, not their fear of the earthquake. Are you looking at this? Let's take a look at the angel and Jesus that's in the tomb. I'm about to close out. Let's take a look at the angel and Jesus. Now, Jesus is in this tomb, and he's been there for at least 3 days. Now, apparently, Jesus don't have any power at this time, for he is dead. So, the relationship that the angel has with Jesus is that the angel has to move the tomb away, or the stone away. For if Jesus had all the power, then he would not need the angel to descend from heaven to roll the stone away. Jesus could have rolled the stone away himself. So apparently, Jesus in his rising don't have no power. Since Jesus, according to the Bible, is unable to roll away from his tomb his own stone that's blocking the door, an angel has to come and roll it away. Now, what was the relationship between this angel and Jesus? How did this angel know even that Jesus was in that tomb? And why did the angel come to that specific tomb? Apparently, there must have been some kind of communication prior to Jesus' death with this angel, or with some cousins or brothers or fathers of that angel. For otherwise, this angel would not have known what tomb to come to, because Jesus is dead and they talk. Not now. So he can't communicate with the angel and let the angel know where he is. So apparently, before Jesus died, he had some kind of communication with the angel to let the angel know that he might die and where he might be by some method, so that when the angel learned of his death and it was time for him to go and find him, the angel would know what tomb to come to and what stone to roll away, so that Jesus could come forward out of the grave and come back to life.
Come on, preach.
What did the angel do when he got there? What did he set in motion? The angel. This angel that set up on the stone. This is a powerful angel now. There's an earthquake occurring. And it's not bothering this angel. In fact, the way the book reports it, the angel caused the earthquake. And had so much power and was so fearless of what might happen, he sat up on the stone with arrogance, dressed in white, which means that he wasn't getting dirty. So he had to be using something else other than his hands to roll away the stone. And not only that, his countenance was like lightning. That means that he had a light in his face. This angel. Now take a look. The angel, you already know that the first thing that he set in motion was he rolled away that stone. Now the book doesn't tell you exactly how he rolled it away. So you have to reach some kind of conclusion of the truth from within you. Now I've reached my conclusion as to how the angel rolled the stone away. And I'll share it with you if you want it, but you're going to have to ask me for it. And I might become a lawyer and charge you $85 an hour for knowledge. Since everybody else charges for knowledge.
No, but I'm supposed to give it to you free. I'll give it to you if you ask me for it, but I'm just not going to give it to you.
Give it to him.
Anyway, in addition to rolling the stone away, this angel had so much power that he called the people that were put around Jesus' tomb as guards to keep anyone from getting to it. He caused them to behave as like they are dead. It didn't say that he killed them, but he caused them to behave as like they were dead men. And he did this from sitting up on his throne, dressed in white, with his face looking like light. Not only that, he also set in motion old Mary. He said, Mary, run, go tell the disciples that Jesus is right. Mary was a little frightened of the angel when she first saw him. But Mary stopped to listen to an angel dressed in white, countenance like light. What kind of woman is Mary? What would you do if you saw an angel descending from heaven right now? What would you do, sister? Would you stand and talk to him for a while? But Mary stood and talked to the angel for a bit. And the angel told Mary, go tell the disciples to meet Jesus in a certain town. I'll get to that in a little bit, not today, but future point. I want to move on. The particular location, geographical location of where this was taking place, I don't want to get right inside of that at this moment, but I do want to say about it that it wasn't very far from where Peter and John were. Because when Mary went back to tell them over there in St. John, they were able to run the distance. So it wasn't a long distance away. But he raised them up to such a feeble pitch whereby that they were not afraid to go back and tell the disciples that Jesus had risen. Now let's pause for a moment and let's take a look at some history. The Honorable Silis Muhammad between the periods of 1930 to 1931 looked up and saw Master Farad Muhammad. And the Honorable Silis Muhammad reports, and it is recorded, that when he looked up on Master Farad Muhammad, he knew him on sight. He knew him at once. He knew who he was. He said that he asked the Savior, who are you? He said that the Savior told him that I am the one that you have been looking for. I have come, or I have descended from Mecca, which was once a holy city, because my uncle, my people were over here dead, having died a spiritual death, having been placed in bondage for a period of 300 years and change. And the next 179 in mental slavery. And I have come to resurrect them, for they do not know who they are. They do not know their own name. They do not know that they are the tribe of Sheba. They do not know that they are direct descendants from the family of God. They do not know even that they are dead, that they are lost and a long ways from home. They do not know that before they came over here to the Western Hemisphere, that they wrote in books in their communications with my fathers about their death, that they would be die, and that they would be buried spiritually in the wilderness, and that in the end time, in the end of the 6th year, and nearing the 7th year, at the break of it, at the new beginning, that I would come to resurrect them. And when I come from the east, where the lightning comes from. And I will come with all power in my hand. But I have so much power that it will look like an earthquake here on earth. I will sit in the jailhouse and teach. I will sit on the street corners and teach. And when I start to teach, there is nothing that the devil can do about it. For I have so much power in truth and in righteousness over him that I'll make the devil act and look as if he is dead. That there was one day when you were afraid, black man. You were afraid to say, I'm black. You were afraid to walk on the same side of the street with little white girls and little white children. You would scratch your head when you got ready to talk to a white man. You were afraid even not to say yes sir to the white man, let alone call the white man a devil. But when the angel in white, with his countenance like a light, descended from heaven, sat on the stone, rolled it away from the pool of evil, and washed out the black man stood up, and at the day he said, white man, you are the devil. And not only are you the devil, white man, me, white man, oh, I'm God. Speak, Savior. Amen.
Excuse me a few minutes. I'm just about finished. I only want to read this to you, and then I'll be finished. It's written in black, so it's kind of hard to read. This was written in 1936. The year 1936. It was written by the Honorable Silis Muhammad himself. The time that he decided that he would no longer have fear in his heart, that he would stand up and teach the truth that Master Farad Muhammad had taught him. He made a commitment that I'm no longer going to be afraid. I know the truth today, and I know that the truth will set my people free.
if they knew it. So I'm going to teach it. And this writing was a writing that he did for himself as his own personal declaration that he had given himself now, given up everything that he'd ever wanted in life, everything that he had dreamed about, every hope that he'd ever had, his wife, his children, his family, everything that he had, he said, I so love what this man, Master Farad Muhammad, has given me. I so believe in it. It has done me so much good. It has given me so much hope, so much spirit, until I want my other people to know it. If I must sacrifice my wife, if I must sacrifice my children, if I must sacrifice my whole family, my people are worth it. So this, in the year 1936, he wrote as his declaration. And from the year 1936, he preached this message to the day that he died, 1975. And I want to read it to you. And by reading it to you, I hope that you are able to see who is this particular angel who came as an earthquake, descending out of heaven, with the power to roll the stone away from Jesus' grave and sit upon it and resurrect Jesus. This day, February 26, 1877, 59 years ago, in heaven, the holy city Mecca, a Savior is born. From the bells of heaven, throne of voice raised high, and majesty of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, has been born the mighty King. Born to save me and my people who were lost, blind, deaf, and dumb, dead to the knowledge of everything.
Right.
Born has he to intercede for me and my people in this judgment day. Born to give his life to me and my people that we might live. Born to give freedom to me and my people who were slaves to the devil, to the knowledge of the devil, and to the wickedness of the devil in this hills of North America. Born to give justice to we, lost found, who never knew what it was before. Born to give equality with the angels of paradise. Isn't that beautiful? Is not he saying here's an angel sitting upon a stone? Born to slave, listen to what he's saying. Born to slave the fallen son of the tribe of Shabbat. What son fell? The whole black nation did. Fell as light in a tomb, didn't we? As light for dead, didn't we? For 300 years in change, weren't we? And we couldn't get out, could we? Marcus Garvey couldn't get us out. John Brown couldn't get us out. Nat Turner didn't get us out. Harriet Tubman didn't roll the stone away. Oscar Brown Sr. didn't roll the stone away. Did he? Master Farad Muhammad, though, rolled the stone away. And I see Jesus right. I see black men who never even knew about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, going by the name of Kareem and Jabbar and Ahmed and Kamal. Those names came from Master Farad Muhammad, a Muslim from the East. dressed in white, who sat up on the sun, who was like an earthquake in the sky.
That's right.
Born to save the fallen son of the tribe of Sheba from the wicked grasp of Yaqub's made devil and Satan. Whose clutches is a black man in here in America? He said that this man that he is writing about was born to free you from the clutches of that man. Born to unite, listen to these words, born to unite the lost sheep who went astray in 1555 with the 4,400,000,000 other of his nation. Because of the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to unite thousands of black people in America. Not only thousands of black people in America, but thousands outside of America.
Yes, sir. That's right.
No other black leader or teacher has ever been able to unite us like that.
Yes, sir.
Because of the teachings of this man, Master Farad Muhammad, who descended from the Holy City of Mecca, black people in America united and commenced to call themselves a nation. For a stone or something was rolled away or taken out of our minds that kept us before from arising.
Yes, sir.
Born, let me go on, born to restore all black mankind into one love. You remember how we used to say we love each other? You remember how we used to say I wouldn't go nowhere with a black man? I don't want to live with no black man. Black people can't get together and do nothing. You remember that? He said that this man was born to unite black people. You are in evidence of some uniting of black people right here in this property. It's because of the uniting of black people that you're looking around that we own this 20 acres of land here.
That's right.
Who united us? Did the preachers unite us and cause us to do this?
No, sir.
A man, a flesh and blood man from Mecca, Arabia, came. And because of him, we today are united and are united. Let me go on. Born, listen to this now. I surely hope I haven't lost you
No, sir.
and haven't offended you.
No, sir.
Born the Lord of the world. In the Bible says, an angel descended of the world. In the Bible says, an angel descended from the Lord. You say, born the Lord of the world. Is he talking about the same angel that this book is talking about? Yes, he is. It's the same angel. It is the same angel here that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is talking about, that the book is talking about. And at the end of the 7th hour, I'm going to show and prove that to you with the books. Born to destroy the old world and to bring in the new world. In the end of the Sabbath and at the beginning of the new week. At the end of the old world of lying and of trickery, of prostitution, of pimping and hustling, of a new world of truth and of righteousness and of loving black people. The old world is going out, and a new world is coming in. That old world is going out as a result of the coming of this man. And a new world is coming in as a result of this man. No other man is doing it, or did it. So he's born to destroy the old world and to bring in the new world. Born the wisest of all, the most merciful, the most loving, the almighty, the knower of what is in man's heart, the doer of what he pleases. There is no God but him. In the earth, nor in the heavens above the earth. I shall forever remember this day, the 26th day of February, 1877, and my offsprings too, to keep a fast of joy with all my poor lost foundation when this our Savior, the King, was born. I shall not eat any food this day until the sun goes down. This I will do, that my heart and my body be not hindered from giving praise to my King that was born on this day, whose light of love, freedom, justice, and equality is greater to me than the sun on the sky. Now come, all of you lost out, and praise the name of our Savior and King. He was born, and we have reclaimed our honor. He gave to us His holy name and called every one of us by our honor. All praises be to our Savior, the Almighty Allah, the strong, the giver of life. Praise His name forever, and reclaim your honor, and know Him as your Savior and King, forever and ever. Let the universe praise Him.
The lecture